In this video, I'm going to talk about the strength equations for quarter joint or stress equations for quarter joint. Now, in this article, we are going to consider the failure of different parts of quarter joint in different stresses. Okay, so first of all, we will consider the tensile failure of rod. Now, in this free body diagram, we have shown the forces applied on the rod, on the both the rod is P, and the diameter of this each rod is small d. So because of this applied load P, which is having tensile nature, because of this tensile load, the tensile stress will induce in the rod, and the failure of this rod will takes place due to the tensile failure. Okay, so it is the possibility of failure of rod under tensile stress, and thus we call it as a tensile failure of rod under the tensile stress or tensile load P. And we can write this equation. The tensile stress is denoted by sigma T is equal to force upon area. Now force applied on both the rod is P. So force is P upon area. Now in order to write the cross-sectional area of these rods, we have to consider its diameter. So this rod is having circular cross-section and its diameter is small d. So area will be pi by 4 d square. So this is the equation of tensile stress induced and from this equation we can get the magnitude of tensile stress, which is equal to P upon pi by 4 d square, where P is the external applied force P and d is the diameter of each rod. Now next we have to consider the failure of spigot. So this is a spigot and it has a diameter d2. It has slot. The thickness of slot is small t, which is equal to thickness of quarter. It has a collar whose diameter is d3, and at the end it has a rod whose diameter is small d. Now this spigot may fail due to tensile stress like this, or it may fail due to shear stress like this, or it may fail due to crushing stress like this. So we have to consider the stress equation for each and every possible way of failure. So first of all, we have to develop the tensile stress equation, then we have to develop the shear stress equation, and later on we have to develop the crushing stress equation for spigot. Now let us first consider the tensile failure of spigot. So this is the spigot and this is the spigot after tensile failure. So you can see here the spigot has a slot having thickness t, and it will look like this after tensile failure. So the diameter of this spigot is d2, I have shown here, and the thickness of slot is t. So we can show this into a 2D diagram. So this is the diameter d2 of this spigot and this is the thickness of this slot. So from this diagram we have to find out the area subjected to tensile stress. So again we have to write the equation of tensile stress. So tensile stress is denoted by sigma t, which is equal to force upon area. Now the force applied on this rod of this spigot is P and upon area. Now if you look at this 2D diagram or in this diagram, so as there is a slot is present in this spigot, here there is no any material. So in this 2D diagram you can see here I have not shown any hatching in this middle region where the slot is present. So in order to find out the area subjected to tensile stress, we have to first take the area of this circle. So area of this circle would be pi by 4 d2 square, which is the area of circle, and from that we have to subtract the area of this slot. So the thickness of the slot is t and the diameter of this spigot is d2. So this rectangular area dimension we can get, height of this rectangular area is d2 and width as t. So we have to subtract this rectangular area from the area of circle. So area of circle is pi by 4 d2 square, and we have to subtract the area of slot because as there is no any material here, there is no any stress. Okay, so as there is no any material, we have to subtract the area of this slot having height d2 and thickness t. So area of rectangle we have to subtract from this area of circle, and area of rectangle is d2 into t. And this is the equation of tensile stress induced in the spigot. Where sigma t is the tensile stress induced in the spigot, p is the force applied, d2 is the diameter of this spigot, and t is the thickness of this slot which is present in the spigot. Now the second failure that we have to consider, the second strength equation that we have to consider is for the shear failure of spigot. Now this is a spigot having diameter d2, having one slot having its thickness is t, and in the shear failure the portion which is present after this slot, that is, this is the portion of material which is present after this slot, it will get removed from this end of spigot, and this type of failure is called as shear failure. Particularly this type of failure is called as double shear failure because the failure takes place in the two planes. So this is the first plane, and this is the second plane of failure, and thus this failure is called as double shear failure. So you can see in this diagram the detailed view of this failure. So as I explained, the material which is present after this slot, that is this much portion will get sheared off from this spigot, and it will come out from the spigot end, and this is the portion of material that is got sheared off from the spigot. Now if you look at the dimensions of this spigot, as I said, the t is the thickness of this slot, a is the distance from the end of slot to the end of spigot, a is the distance between end of slot to the end of spigot, and d2 is the diameter of this spigot. Now we have to apply these dimensions of spigot to the portion of material which is sheared off from this end of spigot, that is the portion of material which is getting removed from the portion of this end of spigot. Now if you look at this distance is equal to this distance, that is the portion of spigot which is present after the slot, that is the distance between end of slot and end of spigot. So this distance would be a. Okay, now this height is equal to the diameter of spigot. As the diameter of spigot is d2, so this height, that is this height of this material which is getting sheared off from the spigot end, is again a d2. It is d2. And we can see that the failure takes place in the two planes. So this is the first plane and this is the second plane. So hence we have to consider the two areas. Now the two areas are, out of that two areas, one area that you can see here, it is the hatched by red color. So this is the first area, and the second area is exactly opposite face of this first area. Okay, so we have to find out total area which is subjected to shear stress. Now we can write the total area which is subjected to shear stress, A is equal to, consider this is the first area, so its width is small a and height is d2. So width is small a, height is d2, so we can write area as a into d2. So this is the first area. Okay, and the second area is exactly behind this first area. Okay, which is exactly behind this first area, and its dimensions are also same, width a, height d2. So again we have to add the second area, a into d2, and thus we can write the total area as twice a into d2. Now this is the area subjected to shear stress. Now with the help of this area we can write the equation for spigot, the shear stress equation. So shear stress is denoted by tau, which is equal to force upon area. Now force applied on spigot is again same, that is P, and now area is twice a into d2, twice into a into d2. So this is the equation of shear stress induced in the spigot. Okay. So in this equation, tau is nothing but the shear stress induced in the spigot, P is nothing but the force applied on the spigot, A is nothing but the distance between end of slot and end of spigot, that you can see here. This is the end of slot and this is the end of spigot. So A is the distance between end of slot and end of spigot. Okay, and D2 is the diameter of spigot, which is shown here. Now next failure that we have to consider is crushing failure of spigot. Now this crushing failure of spigot takes place due to the crushing stress. Now consider this cut section of cotter joint. Now as I explained, this cotter is inserted between the common slot of this socket and spigot, but this cotter is in contact with only one side of spigot. This cotter is in contact with only on this side of spigot. So the internal surface of slot is in contact with this cotter here, but on the other side there is no contact between slot surface and cotter surface. So whatever the crushing stress is exerted by this cotter on this spigot, it is applied on this surface. Whatever the crushing stress applied by this cotter on the spigot, it is applied on this surface and not on this surface, because here there is a clearance between cotter and this slot surface of spigot. Okay, so slot has two surfaces. On one side there is a contact between slot surface and cotter, and other side there is a clearance between cotter and slot surface of this spigot. So whatever the crushing stress is exerted, it will apply on this surface by cotter. So we have to consider this surface area to find out the crushing stress. Okay, so as cotter is in contact on only this side of slot and there is clearance between cotter and this side of slot, so whatever the crushing stress will applied, that will be exerted on this side of slot internally. Okay, to find out this stress area, we have to look from this direction into the slot. Okay, so we have to look into this slot from this direction. So if you look in the slot along this direction, you can see, if you look into this slot along this direction, you can see this is the area of the slot, internal surface of the spigot, which is subjected to crushing stress. Okay, so this is the area of this spigot which is subjected to crushing stress, which is shown by a red hashing lines. Okay, hatching lines, and the diameter of this spigot is D2. The diameter of this spigot is D2 and thickness of slot is T. Thickness of slot is T. Now same we can show in this 2D diagram. So diameter of this spigot is D2 and thickness of this slot is T. Okay, and the area subjected to crushing stress is this area, which is shown by red color hatching lines. So we can write the area equation of area which is subjected to crushing stress. So it is nothing but this rectangular area having height D2 and thickness T. So we can write the area subjected to crushing stress is D2 into T. Okay, so with this equation we can write the equation of crushing stress for this spigot. So crushing stress is denoted by sigma C, which is given by force upon area. Force is P and area is this rectangular area, and whose equation is D2 into T. So this is the equation of crushing stress, where the sigma C is crushing stress induced in the spigot, P is nothing but the external applied force, D2 is the diameter of this spigot, and T is the thickness of this slot, which is shown here.